Hey everyone. So before we get to the video about the culture speech, I want to give you a couple of exercises that I kept putting off because I was busy with your other videos and explaining things, and I'd like to get to this now, which is a little late, but it'll still help you with these speeches and certainly with other stressful situations that you may get into. Like for example, got to keep my eye contact on you because I keep telling you, keep your eye contact into the camera. I keep looking at the screen because stressful situations like job interviews, especially job interviews, um, or even going out on a date, okay, or even asking a girl, a girl out, woman out, asking a guy out. So here are a couple of exercises that I've seen, and they're quite effective. Sorry, I'll give you two really good ones, my favorite ones. And this first one is I saw the CNN reporter do it. He was on the nightly news on CNN for years. I forget his name now. And the camera would come on him for the nightly news and he would blow air out. And I knew exactly what he was doing. He was releasing the stress, okay? And this is how you do it. You just take in a nice deep breath, and either you blow it out your mouth, or you take in a nice deep breath, and you blow it out your nose. And it helps, that when that heart is pounding like crazy, or your stomach is kind of getting tight, just keep doing that for a while, and then it will release that tension in you. And then the other one is my favorite of all times, and it is yawning. And what a yawn does, and you can do it before a job interview, just like this last exercise, you can do it before a job interview. But what this does is it releases everything. It relaxes. It isn't that you are sleepy or tired. It relaxes you. It relaxes your whole body, and it relaxes your throat. Okay, because a lot of times we have voices like this, and we think, well, they're too high. Well, this yawn will help you get a deeper voice. Of course, the other exercise, and you can do this on your own, is humming your favorite song. And you hum it for about 15 or 20 minutes to half an hour. I'm not kidding you. And you hum it softly. You don't need to do it loudly. And that will deepen your voice. It'll give you a deeper voice. Because the reason I know that is because I teach people who are into music. And I was into music when I was going to college. That was one of the fun courses I took. And so, just humming that long will give you a deeper, richer voice. Now back to the yawn. I'm going to yawn for you now. Okay? And that sigh at the end will tell you that your voice is relaxed then, because we tighten up our voice and we talk up here all the time. If you yawn, and at the end of the yawn you sigh, that is your natural voice. Okay? So I recommend that you do both of these exercises because they will help you in any stressful situation. Do it before the stressful situation. Don't be in an argument with someone and say, wait a minute, I have to yawn. Or wait a minute, I have to blow air out. Well, you can do that, blowing the air out. But those are the two things that will help relax you a lot. And the other thing the yawn does is it relaxes you. It doesn't put you to sleep. But, like last night, I was having a hard time going to sleep, and so I yawned, and I yawned, and I yawned, and I kept yawning until finally my body was so relaxed, I just went off to dreamland. All right, so those are the two exercises. The other thing that I want to tell you is that, and you've probably heard this before, is that doors open for you. Every single one of you. Sorry, I just had something to eat. Every single one of you will have a door open for you. And you have to be ready for it. And you have to understand when that damn door opens. And don't walk away saying, was that a door opening? I think maybe, yeah, maybe. Okay, I have an actors have this happen to them all the time. And I tell them, because I mentor actors, and I say, look, that's a door opening for you. Don't let it close. And this one guy, he was extremely talented, and he would have a door opening to him, and he wouldn't even recognize it, and he would walk away from it. And I said, no, you have to recognize them. In life, doors open to you, and you have to know when they open. And so you just have to figure it out on your own. And then after a while, you become sensitive to doors opening to you. And then you'll say, I've got to go through that door. You have to go through the door to see what's on the other side. And then if you don't like it, you can always say, well, forget it. I've had a student who came to me, and she says, he was a male student who came to me and said, I'm not sure if I should take this job. He said, it will pay me a good salary, and it's a job I always really wanted. And he said, but I have my schooling. And I said, look, you can always go back to school. I said, but when a door opens like this, you have to go through it and find out if it's right for you. Because doors also close, and you can't wait. That's what this one guy did, and I don't know if he still does it because I'm not in touch with him anymore. He was an actor, a writer, and director, and doors would open to him all the time. And I said, did you go through it? Well, I didn't know that was a door opening to me. I said, you have to be sensitive to it. You have to know when a door opens, okay, because that door can also close. And then he would wait too long, and he'd say, well, I tried to go through the door later, and I said, right, it was too late, right? He says, yeah, it was too late. So those are the two things, the exercises in this of understanding when a door is opening for you. And then go through it, find out if you want it. Then if you don't, you can always just say no. Okay, whether it's jobs or even relationships or classes. Because I've taken classes that I really enjoyed, and I thought, wow, this is great. I'm glad I saw that in the class schedule. And I just happened to see it. And so that was sort of a little door opening for me, and I took the class. I really enjoyed it. And then another class I had to take, and I absolutely hated it, and I just couldn't concentrate. And I finally just gave up on it and left and got another instructor. And then I enjoyed that instructor, and it was fun. Okay? All right, so good luck to you. Now let's go to the culture speech. I'm going to read it to you. And then I'm going to go over some extra credit with you, talk to you about extra credit. All right, so culture speech. It cannot be about your culture. It has to be about another culture. Okay, someone said, well, one of the students already asked me, she said, well, I'm Mexican American, and I'd like to talk about Spain. And I said, that's perfect. I said, because that's not your culture. You may speak Spanish, but I said, Spain isn't your culture. So I said, that's perfect. Go ahead. Okay? So choose some other culture in the world or in the United States, because we have a lot of wonderful cultures in the United States that are not your culture. And then you talk about it. You have to have your opinions on it. Do you like it? Do you dislike it? There are some cultures out there that you will probably absolutely hate. Okay, I can think of one where they mutilate little girls' vaginas and then sew them up. Well, that's what they do. They sew them up. So they are always going to be a virgin until the male comes along to marry them, and it's usually an arranged marriage. And when I first heard of that about I don't know, 15 years ago or longer. I thought, wow. And it's a culture that is still practiced in parts of Africa. Okay, so look around. Don't feel like go to Europe, go to Russia, go to China, and if you're from China, don't just go someplace nearby. Go out to experiment and find something in Central America or South America or Mexico. Mexico is part of North America. So find different things that are really intriguing and then talk about them. Okay? Culture. Yeah, and then don't choose things that I've heard about forever and ever and ever. Like again, Chinese New Year or Vietnamese New Year or Day of the Dead. I've heard those forever and ever and ever and ever. So I don't want to hear any more of those. Culture. Yeah. So use your opinions. What do you think of the culture? Did you like the culture? It can be a food culture, like the French food, or if you're not from Mexico, and you're not Mexican American, but you are from Cuba or from China, and you choose food from Mexico. That's cool. You can talk about the culture of food. You can talk about prison cultures. You can talk about tattoo cultures. You can talk about gaming cultures, as long as they are not your cultures. If you are tatted up, well, then that's probably part of your culture, so don't talk about it, okay? If you're a gamer, then don't talk about gaming, okay? Because that's part of your culture. Trying to think of another culture. Oh, yeah, so we have a lot of Native Americans out there. So if you're a Native American, if you're Apache, then don't talk about Apache. Choose another Native American culture if you want to talk about Native American cultures. Those are always fascinating because they've been around way before, when the Spaniards came in and came charging across North America and conquered the Mayans and the Aztecs, and then all of the other Native Americans, were killed off. We practically, just decimated all of the Native American cultures, but now they're starting to have a comeback now. Hooray for Native Americans, huh? So there are a lot of different types. So be imaginative when you choose one of these. All right, let's see. And then you have to have opinions from respected thinkers, more than one. And then you have to mention those respected thinkers and the source. Like Steve Lopez in the Los Angeles Times says this, okay? And you have to have at least two. You cannot have just one. And then if you do it with a friend, if you decide that you can safely do this speech with a friend, then both of you have to have your own respected thinkers. You can't have the same respected thinkers. So remember that. Both of you will have to choose at least two different respected thinkers. You cannot choose the same ones to discuss. Let's see what else in this, because I want to get out of here. I've already been talking for 13 and a half minutes. And then it can be given, all right. And then the speech is 3 minutes long. No more 5-minute speeches. Your last two speeches are 3 minutes long. 3 minutes. Okay, so if you go to 2.5, and then you go on up to 3 minutes, you're fine. Don't go over 3 minutes. You can go over 3 minutes and 10 seconds, 3 minutes and 20 seconds, and that's it. I'm still getting speeches that are 8 minutes long. Okay, so don't do that. And then extra credit. And so, the due date on this is next week, the week of July the 6th. And then check your module for the last day to turn it in. Don't procrastinate, because a lot of you are. And then extra credit. So 2 extra credits. You can go to YouTube, look up all sorts of things, dances, concerts, museums on YouTube, plays on YouTube, all sorts of stuff out there on the internet. And then write 1 page on what you thought of each one. You have to have at least 2. And if you're a B+ average, that extra credit will pop your grade up. Those 2 extra credits will pop your grade up to an A. If you are C plus average, those 2 extra credits will pop your grade up to a B. Okay? You write 1 page for each one on what you thought of it, not what you saw, but what you thought of it. And then take proof, like a picture of, if you're seeing whatever it is, proof that you were at that event, okay, on YouTube. And then you give me the proof and the extra credit, send it in to my email address. Extra credit to my email address, athatl@yahoo.com. It's on the syllabus. It's on the syllabus. athatl@yahoo.com. So I've already talked too long. I got to get off because this will take forever to download. All right, have fun with this speech. Okay, I'm already hearing the other speeches, your informative speeches. All right, bye.